Hello everyone and welcome to this is our second edition of Leaders Insights for IsoNation. I'm Rachel Collison and I'm really pleased to be joined here by Julie from Busylizzy Family Club. Julie.
Hi there. Thank you for inviting me along. It's great to be here. I guess really it'd be good just to get a bit of a background on Busylizzy. I set the business up 9 years ago. We are a family club, so we put together lots of classes for mainly mums, but sometimes dads and grandparents to go along to as well, to go to classes with their little ones. We do lots of fitness classes, baby classes, toddler classes, and basically we're out in the community, getting mums together, having lots of fun in our sessions. That was 3 weeks ago. Obviously the landscape's changed quite a bit since then, so it's been a bit of a roller coaster couple of weeks.
Absolutely. I mean, we find ourselves in unprecedented times. You could not have ever predicted this, that we would be in a lockdown situation. And you know, for Busylizzy, who I've known and followed for many years since you started it, you know, you've gone through opening up franchises all over the UK. It's a fantastic business model, but oh my goodness, you must have been hit pretty hard with a lockdown scenario where people can't get out and go to these classes. When was that moment, and what did you think?
Yeah, you know what, I liken it to sort of a tsunami effect, really. I think we saw this coming in from China, from Italy. I kind of could see that stuff was going on, and we were starting to think, okay, this could be, you know, could impact us. So we had a few ideas of perhaps taking some content online. The real impact for us came when Boris Johnson announced that pregnant women shouldn't go along to classes anymore. That was a door closer for us. We've got 23 physical branches in the UK. The following morning, so the Tuesday morning, a lot of the clubs went to open the doors and venues were saying, no, you're not coming in. So we literally had the rug pulled from under us. So that sparked sort of two reactions, really. One was I was paralysed. I felt a state of panic, a state of shock almost, because it was literally watching 9 years hard work essentially disappear. The other part of me thought, well, there's got to be a way around this. We can't just close. We can't close for, indefinitely. We didn't know at the time if it was going to be closing for a week or two. It looks like it's going to be months rather than weeks. So we sought to putting a solution online, and we had a crisis meeting with our franchise team. I've got a franchise network of 23 clubs. I have got a head office team of 6. We put some ideas together. I had a crisis meeting, and by 6 o'clock Tuesday evening, so the day after the official sort of lockdown, we had a full online platform planned, not executed, but planned. So it was literally about 8 hours turnaround from lockdown to let's do something. So yeah, it's fast.
Very fast. I mean, hats off to you and your team for reacting so quickly, because like you say, we still don't actually know how long this situation is going to last for. And it could be, is it only a matter of a few weeks? If it's a few weeks, can we ride it out? Should we wait and see? But actually, you know, like you say, within sort of 8 hours, you've made that decision with your key team. So you must be a really strong core head office team to know and to come together and make that decision together.
Yeah, the journey we've actually been on, I think as a business, we're in a funny kind of way stronger now than we were before. As a franchise business, 23 clubs working day to day independently of each other, really. But once this began to unfold, what we've actually done is centralised our timetable and put it online. And those costs are now shared 23 ways, which is very good from a franchise owner point of view. And it means that they can stabilise their finances in their business. And it's meant that we've all pulled together to do stuff. So In our franchise, we had a couple of girls that worked in PR and copywriting, so we set them straight to work to help update the website because that now needed completely new content. We had a couple of guys in the team that were particularly strong on the financial front, previously accountants, one's even an actuary in her previous role. So we set to work financial modelling of what this new membership would look like. And we've got marketeers in the business as well. So again, we set to work with them looking at what is it going to be called, you know, Busylizzy Live as what it is called now, but we didn't know that at the time. So it was a real team effort and everybody had a job, whether they liked it or not, that everybody was allocated a role, and it worked really well. Everybody pulled together, everybody was updating files and folders and dropping documents into Google Drives. It was the most productive sort of 48 hours I've ever experienced in the business. And by the Friday, we had our product and we took it out on March the 23rd was our first live class. So yeah, it's been a roller coaster, but there's lots of positives in this.
Yeah. Definitely. And what I'm hearing as well from you, Julie, is that you were already quite well set up to work remotely, because I understand like you've got a sort of head office team, but you will liaise with other franchise owners and other parts of your core team virtually anyway.
Yes.
So many companies wouldn't have had that in place, but you've always been quite forward thinking with online facilities and technology, like your app, etc. Yeah. So do you think it really helped you get to where you needed to be quickly?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely put us ahead of the curve. We were in a situation, we use Zoom. I use Zoom daily for meetings. So suddenly Zoom stocks, I think, have gone up through the roof, haven't they? But, you know, that kind of technology was something we always had in the business. We were having regular meetings with our franchise owners already online. We are located all over the UK. I'm in West Sussex. My marketing manager lives in Truro. My social media manager lives in Swindon. And our franchise owners are all across the southeast, from Kent right the way through to Cheltenham, actually, is our furthest west. So, you know, we are spread out all over the place. So we were already very used to working remotely. So that side of things, we just carried on as we were doing. So I don't think we as a business had that steep learning curve that others have had to go through to get themselves set up and going. We've always used central documents and, you know, Google Files and Google Drives for documents and stuff as well. So from that point of view, it was business as normal. It was more, everybody was allocated a role. We looked at their previous life prior to being franchise owners, because everybody that's come to our business has done so through their experience of being a Busylizzy member, really enjoying it, not wanting to return to the day job after maternity leave and going on to buy a franchise. So, you know, we've got lots of experience in the business, and we pulled upon that, and we asked our marketeers to step up, our PR guys to step up, and our copywriters to step up, and it all came together, thankfully, last week.
Yeah, that's fantastic to hear. And like you say, drawing on that pool of talent that you actually had within your franchisees from their previous roles is fantastic, and must really be rewarding for those people as well, to be able to utilize those skills within the fuller business model of Busylizzy Family.
Yeah, absolutely. We've created a new membership model, essentially. We are a membership organisation. We've created a new membership model, a virtual unlimited membership model, which gives our mums, our dads, our members, access to 21 classes a week that they can come along and attend. And it's a membership model that's owned by the whole network. Everybody's a part of it. Everybody's contributed to it. So everybody's completely invested with what we've done. And I think that just makes your team stronger. There was no, this is my idea, this is what we're doing, you must get on with it whether you like it or not. It was very much, we're all in this, we're all going to do it. We've all had our little part to play in terms of getting it up and getting it live. So it's, you know, everyone's involved. It sounds really cheesy, doesn't it? But it really was a team effort, and it's working so far.
Sure. No, it sounds good. I was wondering, I've worked in health membership clubs as well, and I wondered what the impact has been for members, or what were the members' first responses? Was there a time when they were asking you lots and lots of questions? What's going to happen? Can I stop my membership? Can I cancel this? Can I cancel that? And then hopefully how they seen you adapt? How have they reacted to it now? So from initial, oh my God, we can't go to our Busylizzy classes, to this is a fantastic online platform I can watch in my home.
We did have members, certainly in our London clubs. I think it hit London a bit before it hit the rest of the country. So we certainly had members in our London clubs asking to cancel membership or freeze membership. This was probably around the beginning of March. So it did start to impact us, certainly from earlier in the month. And that was worrying, that was really worrying. We didn't want that. With our membership, there is a facility to freeze your membership. So that was something that we looked at doing, because we could essentially freeze the business for, a month or so. Short term, we could have done that. You literally pause and you go back to where you were a month or so later. But once we found we were in a lockdown situation, it became quite apparent that this isn't actually going to be a few weeks or a month. This is going to be longer. Well, we don't know how long, but it is going to be longer. So we actually needed to provide a different service, a different product for our members. So we went back to all our members and we told them what we had done. We've gone online. We automatically moved everybody's accounts over, so there was quite a lot of admin going on behind the scene, but we automatically moved everybody onto this product. Very few people cancelled. Nearly everybody's been really happy to move on to the product. Not everyone, but most people have been. And we've actually had feedback this week from members asking us if it's going to stay, because they love the fact that they can do classes when it suits them. They've got a 3-year-old that perhaps wasn't cooperating at 10:30 when the mini dancers class was on. So they left it and came back to it at 3 o'clock. And, that's really flexible and useful as a parent. So we're sort of seeing there's a convenience to Busylizzy online. So there's certainly going to be a future in it. We need to work that out, but there will be a future in it in some capacity.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear, because I was thinking the same thing, actually. As you know, I've got young ones, and we have joined in some classes with Busylizzy Live in the last week or so, and they are fantastic classes. And one of the things that ran through my mind was exactly that: when you're a first-time mum or second-time mum or third-time mum or whatever you are, and you've got a small baby, sometimes it's impossible to leave the house on time to get to a class, even though you desperately want to get out of your house. So I can see that there's pros for having both options.
Yes.
For when you really want to get out and you need to get out and it's important to get out. And similarly, like you say, when you've maybe had a difficult morning, you haven't been able to make it out the door, but you've got the option of going and joining that class online. I think that is a fantastic offer for your members. So I'm sure you will figure out the best way to take it forward when we can all meet face to face again one day. Yeah, I was going to ask you where you think things will be for clubs, and if we open that up to health clubs. I know your past experience in the health club industry. How do you think things will be in 6 months' time? Do you think it will be business as normal? Do you think people will just jump back into the way that they were living their lives before, or like you say, will it be a mixture? What are your kind of predictions?
It's a really difficult one, isn't it? We just don't know. But what I am seeing, and the conversations I'm having with people, the exit is where everybody is now. We've sort of got ourselves into a situation where we're locked down and we're still running a virtual service. But you then start thinking, how on earth do we pick ourselves out the other side of this? And I think the big challenge people are going to have is how quickly you can get back out and about again. And I think people, especially mums with little ones, are going to feel quite nervous about going out to certain places and doing certain things. So I think there's going to be a steady out. I think I even saw some blog I was reading, it was saying that they might even do it industry by industry and slowly take people out depending on where they work and how they work. So I think it's going to be a really difficult one for a lot of businesses to navigate themselves back out the other side. as I touched on earlier, I think for us and for a lot of the house clubs and gyms, the virtual service will remain. I think there's a place for it. I think the convenience of being able to do exercise or classes with your little ones at home is a really strong place to be. So I think from our point of view, we will continue the virtual service. We've pretty much just agreed that across the network already. And then I think we will start picking up outdoor fitness once we can start getting back outside again. I think that will be our first point of call. And then we'll start putting the physical classes back in place in each of our franchise locations across the UK when we get the green light to do that, basically.
It really is every day as it comes at the moment, isn't it? Which I think the fact that we are all in the same situation makes us breathe a bit easier with it. If it was just yourself and your own business, literally like not being able to make a decision from day to day, that's a very different scenario. But there isn't any, it's out of our control. You can only control the things that are immediately in front of you. So that day by day, week by week approach is how we've all got to look at things at the moment.
Yeah. Although that's quite hard when you're planning budgets, finances, and people's lives.
When you're in charge of all of this, yeah, exactly.
159 instructors Busylizzy, so that was a lot of trying to find a way of keeping them going as well. I feel a personal responsibility, to try and keep people going.
Yeah. Definitely, but what you've offered with the online service isn't just here's some videos and they'll be the same ones that you can access again and again. It really is a live scenario. So people have still got that connection, I think, with what's happening. You're not just watching a pre-recorded video. You are there. Each session is going to feel different from week by week and day by day from the others. And also that is keeping your team of instructors across the UK motivated, keeping them busy, great for their mental health, their stability as well in this situation where they could have found themselves in obviously it's not the stablest of jobs anyway, being a fitness instructor. So that's given them, a great amount of stability, which, you should feel really, really proud of to be able to do that. I was thinking one of the positives I've seen just in the last couple of weeks is that people are almost upping their fitness. I don't know how many new members you've had to the site. But even us as a family, I mean, the great Joe Wick, too, you can't miss him really. He's been the nation's PE teacher, isn't it? It's fantastic, and that kind of got us up and moving. And then, what else is available? And working together as a family. And actually, I'm 5.5 months pregnant and I'm trying to keep fit because I can't go for a long walk. So I think people are putting their health and their mental health priority whilst they're at home, which may be in their busier lives, going outdoors, commuting, wherever that might be, being stuck at a desk from 9 to 5, that may have gone on the back burner, but now fitness is at the forefront again. Yeah,
absolutely. People have got the opportunity now to do the exercise and to work out at home, get the kids involved, husbands involved. We've definitely seen that, and we've got lots of new members joining us as well. Busylizzy was in 23 sort of fixed locations, but we are now nationwide, and we've picked up members from Edinburgh, Newcastle, Malta, the Netherlands, and France. So, we global's a little bit of an exaggeration, but I'd like to think we're almost global now. So it's been quite an exciting couple of weeks from that point of view. And we've also found we're doing other things as well. We've got lots of talks going on. So we've teamed up with GPs, midwives, sleep talk consultants. So we're trying to create a bit of a community in the group as well. So, we've got lots of new mums that haven't been able to get out and have their sort of 6-week checks and things because all that service is stopped. So we're trying to provide a lot of information and content in the group so that mums can either just talk to each other in a virtual capacity, just knowing that somebody else up the road in the same situation as you is quite reassuring. Also trying to give them a platform where they can get information about weaning their little one or getting their little one into a really good routine for sleep, because all that support and infrastructure has fallen by the wayside.
Well, absolutely. As I mentioned, I'm a pregnant mummy myself, and I've gone from having lots and lots and lots of appointments booked in for me to literally having nothing in the diary until I think my next is still 6 weeks away or something. Luckily, I feel quite reassured because I have movement now that I'm for the 5.5 months. Whereas earlier on in pregnancy, I know it's a particularly anxious time for new pregnant women, and having a service where they can connect and gain information, I think is vital, really. I'm definitely going to be checking out some of those talks that you're providing as I carry on my journey, because it is strange having gone through 2 pregnancies with a support face-to-face service with midwives, etc., to now feeling like I'm kind of doing it on my own. Thankfully, I'm a third time, but if I was first time, I think I would probably feel even more anxious. So that's really, really lovely to hear that you're doing that as well. What do you think people that have had to, we were talking briefly before we started, there's some organizations, potentially bigger organizations, that have furloughed their teams. What kind of impact do you think that's going to have in the greater landscape on people's sort of work-life balance, how they're feeling at the moment? We're keeping ourselves very busy, but perhaps there are people that aren't able to do that. And do you think that's going to have a bit of an impact as we go forward?
Absolutely, I do. I mean, I think lots of small business owners at the moment are actually very busy, desperately trying to find a way to keep going. So I think the world's sort of split into 2 halves, really. So you've got lots of people working extremely hard to keep things going in the business community. And then I think you've got a lot of people that are going to be not working, and your routines disappear, your structure in your day disappears. Thankfully, we've had some great weather recently, and I think that's been a bit of a saviour for a lot of people. But I do worry about the mental health and well-being of a lot of people at the end of this, because not getting out and about, not doing all the things that you're usually really busy at work doing, and sort of feeling trapped and isolated at home, it's not healthy for people. So, hopefully we can still continue with our walks, and we can still continue to get out and about, in a small sense. We don't have complete lockdown, but I think the ripples from this will be far and wide in the months and maybe years to come.
Yeah, which is why it's been so important for the health and fitness industry to try and turn around and offer some other way of people to access services, and to try and prioritize that. I think I also feel for people without gardens to get outdoors. I mean, I know we can go for our daily walks, which we're trying not to go out too much because I'm pregnant and Christian has asthma, so we're trying to just be out as much in the garden as we can with the kids when we're not working. How are you making that balance with your children as well? Because obviously we're on Easter holidays now, busy, but also with homeschooling, because yours are a little bit older than mine. You don't want them to miss out. You want to be able to help them, but you might find yourself out of your depth with some home work.
You're absolutely right. And my daughter is now 12. She's in year 7 at school. And I feel desperately sorry for her. She just started her secondary school, got that first term out of the way, meeting new friends and all those scary things that happen in the first term of school, just started to settle into a routine, and bang, this happens. So she's a resilient little thing, and she's done really well. And the school are still providing the timetable. She's expected to start work at 8:30 in the morning and keep to her lessons, and she can work quite independently. So from that point of view, it's been pretty good. My son is still at primary school, can't work quite so independently, does love an Xbox. So it's been a bit more of a challenge to get him motivated to do his schoolwork. He needs more help from me, so of course that means juggling homeschooling and running the business. And yeah, it's a challenge. It has been a challenge. I'm trying not to put too much expectation on the kids, to be honest with you. I don't think now's the time for them to be scholarly. I think they need a lot of they need a lot of support, and you know, I ask lots of questions. Are you okay? And have you got any questions about this? Because I think they're seeing around them, you know, they're old enough to listen to the news and absorb it and understand to a certain extent what's going on. They've suddenly had the rug pulled under their feet. They're at home. You know, it's a really strange at the moment. So, you know, I don't think putting too much pressure on them. I think a bit of schoolwork needs to be done. You know, come and hang out with us. And we live in the middle of the South Downs National Park, so we're very fortunate that we are in the middle of nowhere, which is quite nice at the moment, because it means we can walk the dogs, and we've got a nice big garden as well, so we can get out and play football and gymnastics. Not me, my daughter. Gymnastics. So you know, we're surviving, but yes, you know, it's a juggle, isn't it? A juggle for everybody.
Well, similarly to our setup, actually, Nifty Communications, which is Christian and my business, we're both working in the same business, and you and your husband, Martin, obviously both work in Busylizzy Family Club. So in some ways, one of you's got to be with the children, one of you's got to be doing work. So you're we're tag teaming, and we definitely don't have it right yet. But, you know, at least we're both spending time doing both things. But obviously that has an impact on the business, because we're slightly reduced in our hours that we're in the business, because we do have some phone calls which we're both on, in which case we do have to rely on modern technology to keep the kids happy.
That's me to Busylizzy class.
yeah, that's a very good part of the day. But yeah, how are you and Martin managing that?
Okay, we've worked together for 9 years on Busylizzy now. So as a husband and wife team, we rub along together quite well, really. He's a keen golfer and he can't play golf, so he is a little bit like a bear with a sore head at the moment, because he can't get out and about and do his golf, which he is really missing. But between us, we're rubbing along together quite nicely. And the children are a little bit older than yours, so they are a bit more independent. So we are both able to get out and do some work as and when we need to. But yeah, it's tag team. It's, you know, it's time to sort of, you know, coordinate diaries, and you know, you can have the office for an hour and I'll have the office for an hour. It's very much that way.
Yeah. And then it's fitting everything else in as well, isn't it? It's just the morning, the breakfast, the tidying. There's so much more mess because you're at home, all of you together longer.
Everybody's eating us out of house and home.
I know, my 5-year-old does not stop eating. And I say, surely you can't do this at school all day. So why are you doing it now?
Yeah.
All these small challenges that we're doing with while trying to keep the business going. It is a very, very crazy time. So I think we've managed to sort of speak quite upbeatly about what is happening, and the benefits of the situation that we find ourselves in. But you have touched on, obviously, the slight pressures of being a business owner, being responsible for other people. You must have been anxious and fraught with worry at some points in this journey so far, and probably going forward as well. What would you want to share? Any of those sort of concerns that you had mainly with the situation?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, the anxiety is still there. You know, it's not like we're at the other side of this, and you know, we've taken everything online, which has worked for us at the moment, and is working for us at the moment. But it's what the other side looks like, and that's really the pressure point at the moment. And I've actually got a meeting next week that I've set up with my central team to start modelling different varieties of our business, really, and what it could look like on the other side, because we don't know what that's going to look like, and we need to be prepared for the doors just being flung open and off we go again. We need to be prepared for maybe we can come out a little bit. We need to be prepared for we can come out and we might all get locked up again in October. So we need to sort of put together a few scenarios, and that's really hard to do with so many variables. And it's hard to do it with 23 franchise owners as well. So, you know, there are a lot of opinions. So trying to organise ourselves so that it's not done asking 23 opinions, because that's impossible to run a business that way. We need to have a committee and get a committee together to model certain scenarios. So that's something that I've got bubbling away to start looking at next week. And I think any business really needs to be in a position that you need to be thinking what you're going to look like on the other side. And then you need to get your marketing in place for what that's going to look like on the other side. Because once Boris gives us the green light that we can go outside again, we're not going to wait 48 hours. We're all going to go outside. So we need to be ready and running off down the road with whatever it is you're doing. And then at that point, not really be in a position where you're just going to now watch. You know, you need to be ready for when we, you know, get let out again.
Yeah, and in terms of business tools that you use to bring your team together, so effectively, even though you are pretty much a remote working business anyway, you know, the fact that you could update your website quite quickly, is that all in-house? Because I think that sometimes that's a problem with businesses, that they have these websites built and then they have no ownership on them. So even to sort of say doors are closed was a real tough thing when the lockdown happened. Is all of that in-house for you?
Yeah, what we've actually done, I work with lots of freelance and agencies. So I have design and marketing guys, they're based down in Truro, they're freelance, but they have been freelance working for me for 9 years. So we've got a brilliant relationship, they're fantastic. They can turn stuff around for us really, really quickly. Our website's built with WordPress, we've got complete control over that. So overnight we can take things down, add things on, and our designers have actually got access to our website, so they're straight in there updating stuff for us. So we're pretty nimble from that point of view. Again, my social media manager, she's already had access to everybody's social media accounts across the whole network, so as well as our corporate channels as well. So again, you know, very quickly we can get messaging pushed across 23, 24 social media channels within half an hour if we need to, because we're not reliant on other people picking up messages and sort of doing something with it. And I have an operations manager as well, Michelle. She lives in Surrey. And again, you know, Zoom meeting with her, up to speed. We got the whole network onto a meeting that evening, and we were off. So we were able to move quickly pretty much because of the infrastructure that we've got in place. I've always preferred to work with agencies and freelance. I think it keeps us nimble, and it means that you've got professionals in their field doing what they're really good at, rather than sort of diluting roles around all over the place. You know, our designers just do design. I wouldn't expect them to start doing PR for us, for example. So I've always been an advocate of using freelancers and agencies to do various aspects of the business, because that's what they do really, really well.
Yeah, absolutely. And also one thing you do very, very well as a club since you launched 9 years ago is your key branding, I think. I never see a Busylizzy post or any news about Busylizzy that isn't on brand. So you're seeing that consistent brand, and you've done it again with Busylizzy Live. You know, you came up with your snappy title, what this part of the membership was going to look like. You've got that branding in place. You mentioned before we started the interview actually, but about getting branding out to all the instructors, so that the videos looked really professional and thick. We know people are filming them in their own front rooms or whichever room in the house is the most suitable. Again, to keep it very professional, you've been so consistent in having your Busylizzy branding everywhere, and I think it really helps people trust what you're offering them. It really brings in the consistency, the brand values, and straight away they feel confident and comfortable that they've signed up to something that is giving them good value back, I believe.
No, absolutely. And the branding actually was really important to us. It's something we've invested in since day one. You know, we've had professional photo shoots that have cost thousands, and all our photos that belong to us are then all colorized, so they match the different tiers of classes we do. So everything kind of is all on brand and on key. And again, I've seen lots of businesses, as we all have, go online over the last couple of weeks, and I have seen some big bloopers. You know, I have seen some what I would consider great companies look pretty ropey online, and I think it's panic, and actually getting online is more than just hitting the live stream button on Facebook. We actually asked all our instructors to send over a 10-minute demo video of their class and what it would look like. And some were awful. You know, and it's not because they couldn't teach the class, it's because they couldn't get the lighting right, and they couldn't get the sound right, or they just weren't confident in front of the camera doing a class. So it wasn't that they weren't capable, it was just, you know, the infrastructure really wasn't there in their house, or in their they didn't own the technology to be able to do it. So we went through and demoed, I think it was 78 videos we went through before we picked our final 21 classes. And then once we picked those, we then had guidance notes going out to all the instructors in terms of what they have to say at the beginning, middle, end of their classes to keep the consistency there. They all had to have branded mats, they all had to have a backdrop, they all had to wear uniform. And it's so important. Branding is you know, so important anyway, but I think in a crisis moment, it's branding done badly stands out. I think when you do it well, people probably wouldn't notice so much, although it's very kind of you to say that you did. I think if it's done well, you kind of don't really notice. If it's done badly, oh my word, it can look awful. And sadly, I've seen quite a few examples of, you know, just things that just look wrong. So we're pleased where we got from that point of view. It was a lot of work. It was, and a lot of feedback going back and forth. We had a practice Facebook group, and then all our instructors were in there all chatting and giving feedback to each other. So, you know, a whole hours of work went on behind the scenes to get that in place.
Yeah, fantastic. And I'm sure that your membership and new members really do appreciate that. I was just going to say that in times of uncertainty, which obviously we're in at the moment, having that clarity with something as simple as your branding really helps. So I think it really does give those people that reassurance that they've got something good that they've tuned into. So that certainly is something that we believe in as well. Yeah. Well, Julie, thank you so much for sharing with us today how you have done this huge turnaround in your business, how you work sort of usually anyway remotely, which is fantastic. I definitely think we're going to see more people working from home. I mean, people used to sort of roll their eyes at having to do a video call because sometimes there are technical difficulties. We all know that. But I think the fact that everybody's had to get in there and do it means that will happen more and more going forward. Yeah. So you don't have to, you know, jet on that plane to go and have your meeting in New York if that was ever. You now just stay at home and do what I'm doing. Oh, dear. No, it's been really fantastic to talk to you. Such a good insight into Busylizzy Family Club and how you work as a team, and you're a great leader in your business. I have to say, I'm a big fan. Always have been.
Bless you. Thank you.
And let's keep in touch with how things are going. You know, we'd love to share maybe a sample of your classes on the IsoNation networks if we can. Yeah. Let's have a chat about that. And good luck with everything.
Thank you for inviting me, and good luck with the IsoNation. And I hopefully I'll be able to see you actually sometime soon as well in real life.
Lovely. Okay, bye for now, Julie, and thanks for watching, everyone.